The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The Health Department reports around 3,900 COVID-19 infections among minors since the resumption of in-person classes. Let's get more details from JC Cosico, who's reporting to us live from the DOH Central Office in Manila. Hi JC, good afternoon. Are there any severe or critical cases that were observed among these 3,900 COVID-19 infections in students?
Sean, just to be very clear, that infections were from the 12 to 17 age group and not just specific to students. Now, the DOH said they're still waiting for reports as to the number of infections in schools. But these infections were recorded from the 1st of September to November 3. Now, there are no reports of severe and critical cases, and the DOH is again still waiting for the reports as to the number of infections in schools. Sean.
All right, is the DOH still in support of the full implementation of face-to-face classes then?
Yes, Sean, according to DOH OIC Verhead, they are still in support of the full implementation of face-to-face class, saying that this benefits the mental health or the mental well-being of students 2 years into the COVID-19 pandemic. Sean.
Right, did the DOH give any indication as to when we can expect children aged 5 to 11 to receive their booster shots?
Sean, it remains to be seen, as according to DOH, there is still no recommendation from experts when this age group will be able to receive booster shots, saying there is no enough evidence of its benefit for this age group. Sean.
All right, and what about the policy about masking inside schools and offices? What is the position of the Health Department when it comes to that?
Sean, amid the easing on the restrictions on the use of face masks, the DOH said that these boil down on a person's informed choice or informed decision. If you are vulnerable or if you are in a high-risk area, still choose to wear your face mask. Sean.
All right, there's also this new virus, JC, I'm not sure I'm even pronouncing it right. The respiratory syncytial virus. So the DOH has logged over 200 cases of this. Anecdotally, a lot of people are also saying it's going around. What is this exactly? How do we pronounce it? And should we be worried?
Sean, according to the DOH, these infections were logged from January to August 31, 2022. And according to the US CDC, this is a common respiratory disease which causes mild and cold-like symptoms. Now, this infections, or there are reported increase in cases among children in the US. And the DOH said kids or even adults may get this through respiratory droplets and transmission. Now, according to the agency, among the symptoms of this virus include colds and fever, but patients or those who are sick eventually recover from RSV. Sean.
And is it as contagious as the coronavirus?
Sean, there is no mention as to that, but according to the DOH, it's still like COVID. Its way of transmission is through respiratory droplets. Sean.
All right, thank you so much for those updates. JC Cosico reporting to us live from Manila. Meanwhile, a health expert is urging the government to issue additional COVID-19 guidelines for inbound passengers. Vaccine expert panel head Dr. Nina Gloriani said the public should still be wary of the more infectious Omicron variant. This comes on the back of quarantine requirements being lifted for unvaccinated passengers entering the country. Because of this, Gloriani is suggesting adding tests to ensure that the passengers are negative for the coronavirus. The doctor also encouraged the elderly and those with comorbidities to continue wearing face masks even if it has been made voluntary.
kailangan lang may guidelines din tayo. Ang papasok, kailangan may RT-PCR test na negative. Pumunta siya sa airport, sumakay ng aeroplano, wala siyang symptoms o negative siya at that time, even at that time. After 3 days, hindi natin malaman sa sino nakasalamuhan niya. 3 days po up to 5 days, baka magkakaroon siya ng symptoms.
We're gonna pause for a quick break, but we will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. Evacuees are falling ill in Datu Odin Sinsuat, with families crammed up in evacuation centers. Mon Gualvez with the report.
Mahadea Pelino patiently waits as doctors check on her 5-month-old son. Her baby has been experiencing cough and colds for 3 days already. Other evacuees in Datu Odin Sinsuat, Maguindanao del Norte are also getting sick.
Ang kwan po dito, yung masyado mainit po, kaya po nararanasan po ng mga bata ang ubo, tapos mga sipon po.
Because of this, the local government has set up an emergency health station in each evacuation center. Residents are provided with daily checkups and free medicines. Overall, there are at least 150 evacuees that have experienced fever, cough, colds, as well as stomach and tooth pain. Doctors say evacuees are prone to communicable diseases since they are staying in cramped rooms.
So prone talaga ng communicable diseases yung mga evacuees natin kasi nasa isang room lang sila. So more or less 5 families per room. So hawaan ng ubo, lagnat, sipon, mga virus natin dyan.
But starting Saturday, evacuees staying in schools will be asked to move so that face-to-face classes can resume next week.
Medyo na-delay na yung classes ng mga estudyante natin. Baka kailangan na nilang itong eskwela. So at least naman kahit na kailangan nila itong eskwela, mayroon naman tayong paglilipatan sa kanila.
To help displaced residents, this Peace Building Center in Barangay B2 is being prepared for use. The site will be used as evacuation center that can accommodate around 200 families. The LGU is also building tents in open spaces around the compound to maintain distancing. Residents whose homes are completely damaged will be prioritized in this evacuation center. But the LGU is also appealing for help from the national government. For now, the LGU is looking into areas where affected residents can rebuild their homes in Barangay Kusyong.
Ang relief natin, overwhelming na po. Pero kahapon, nag-ikot ako sa ating mga barangay at ito yung request nila. Ang kailangan daw nila is yung pabahay. Hindi naman yung pabahay, sabi ko sir, na konkreto pa. Ang sinabi ko, kahit na bahay, kubo lang. Pangalawa, yung konting kabuhayan nila.
President Bongbong Marcos has already promised 10,000 pesos in financial assistance to each family that lost their homes due to paeng. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
And on the corporate front, PLDT turned in another stellar earnings report after the sale of its telco towers. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez with the details.
It looks like Christmas came early for PLDT. The Pangilinan-led telco giant posted all-time high revenues for the first 3 quarters of 2022.
We have an all-time high 9 months revenue of almost 142 billion, so 141.9. That's an increase of 4.5%. EBITDA, again at an all-time high of 75.4 billion. So we are on track to hit our target of 100 billion for the year.
For the same period, its net income also skyrocketed 45% to 27.4 billion due in part to the sale of more than 1,000 of its towers. Still, the home and enterprise businesses brought in the bulk of revenues.
Leading the charge are home and enterprise businesses, which both have registered as well an all-time high from a 9-month reporting perspective. Home at 42.7 billion is up 21% year-on-year, and within home, our fiber business is up 52% to 35.7 out of the 42.7 billion.
Meanwhile, its fintech unit Maya is gaining momentum. Maya is one of the few fully digital banks licensed by the BSP. Just 5 months after its launch in April, it says it has already registered over 1 million users and 10 billion peso worth of deposits.
This rapid growth continues to underscore the growing preference of Filipinos for an all-in-one digital banking and payments experience. The game is now beyond wallet. It's about digital banking and wallet, multi-mode payments.
Veya added they'll soon make transactions simplified and more secure, with a feature wherein users can send and receive payments through the app with just a username. PLDT said it's currently reviewing its consolidated capital expenditures for this year, which could surpass the 85 billion initial guidance. Pandillo said the company is also on track to finish its largest data center by next year. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, we are One News.
Let's now take a quick look at today's other top stories. Inflation zoomed to 7.7% in October, the highest in nearly 14 years. Authorities said high food prices and fare hikes drove the uptick in prices. The prices of basic commodities are also expected to remain elevated in the next months due to the impact of recent typhoons. And at least 8 people were hurt after fireworks went off in a factory in Santa Maria, Bulacan. 4 of the victims, including the owner of the factory, sustained serious injuries. 4 houses were also damaged from the blast. The death toll from severe tropical storm Paeng has gone up to 154. The damage to agriculture is now estimated at 2.7 billion pesos, while the damage to infrastructure is pegged at 2.9 billion pesos. For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.